Is the new 14-team college football playoff format to be taken seriously, or is it just posturing? Let's discuss. Hi, I'm Trevor, and this is Saturday's Warrior, the channel where we talk all things BYU, Big 12, realignment, which brings us to today's topic in the college football playoff. So if you're interested in that stuff, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. It really does help us a lot, and we really do appreciate it. So taking a look at the new college football 14-team playoff proposal, obviously this is the big two, the Big Ten and the SEC really trying to throw their weight around. Everybody knows that that they're obviously the two big guys in town, and there's that threat of the conferences potentially pulling away to do their own thing, and they can use that and hold that over everybody to try and extract as much as they can out of whatever changes come through the playoff, through any changes in college football going forward, because they seem to be big enough with the big enough brands and seem apparently to have the support of TV networks behind them. The money's there, and so that threat feels real. And so I think with this proposal, with them saying, hey, we want to get an extra, 3 teams, so automatically qualified to get into the playoff, and both those conferences having the top 2 seeds, meaning the only 2 buys in this format. It's just ridiculous. It really is, I think, posturing at this point, again, because they are the big guys in the room, and they have leverage over everybody else. I think that this is really just anchoring the conversation. I don't know, do they really want a 14 team, or are they putting this out there to now make other proposals of a 16 team or even to a 12 team? I think they want it bigger. So even whatever they put out there, I think they're kind of asking for the moon and really anchoring the conversation, and then any ground that they give up from there to maybe come back up to what they know is going to be a more realistic proposal in a way to try to extract a little bit more from the deal. Obviously, I can't speak to all their motivations or what exactly they want, but it definitely looks like they are not acting in good faith. That they put out a proposal like this, they know that nobody's going to accept that. And so to me, this is just a negotiating tactic, and they do not have the best interest of the sport in mind. They're really just looking out for themselves, which I suppose the commissioners of their respective conferences should be doing that. But if it comes at a detriment of the sport, because if it really only becomes about those 2 conferences and about the fan bases within those 2 conferences, then it's going to alienate so many other fan bases, other teams, and really take away from so much of what we love about the sport and what makes the sport special. To help illustrate this, let's take a look at this graphic posted by Ross Dellinger of what a projected 14-team playoff would look like using the CFP committee's final rankings from this last season, but also reflecting the conference realignment changes that we're going to see going forward. And as you can see, we've got 5 Big Ten teams in here, 4 SEC, and then the group of 5 team is actually Oregon State. So not even a true G5 school that is going to be represented there. And what's crazy is, I mean, they don't need the automatic bids to get so much representation in these playoffs. I get it that their conferences are getting really big, and they got a lot of teams, a lot of big brands that expect to be in the running and to have a shot at it. But to me, that's just, well, you didn't have to realign. You didn't have to go into these massive conferences. You could have stayed. I mean, look at it. The Pac-12 would have had 4 teams in this format. So they chose to go in these bigger conferences, and if they want to go and get that representation, then they need to go do it on the field, not just get a handout because they're in this behemoth of a conference that they automatically get to show up if they're near the top of that league. No, they need to go out and prove it. Don't take away from the regular season and diminish those games. Make teams go out on the field, earn it, and then show up, and then they can play in the playoff. I love that. And you know what? If even without the automatic bids, most years we're still going to see several Big Ten and SEC schools with representation in this playoff. Do I love that? No. They're going to continue to get the benefit of the doubt in the polls, and so they're going to get that representation there in the playoffs. But nonetheless, they still have to go out there and earn it because they will get them. Obviously, their conferences are getting bigger. They've got more mouths to feed, more teams that really want to be in there and be included. But guess what? So do all these other conferences. And yes, their conferences are the big hitters that bring in a lot of the revenue. And so I think I see why they want to be part of that. But you know what else brings in a lot of revenue is the fact that college football reaches so many fan bases at such that are so passionate and invested in their teams that if you start doing this, you're just going to continue to alienate instead of including, which is what the playoff is supposed to be about. You're going to be alienating all these fan bases, and it's no longer going to continue to represent what makes college football so special. And these fan bases are going to not be invested anymore if they don't feel like they have a chance, if they're not included. Here we got Mike Gundy saying, a playoff format that guarantees a first-round bye to any team, division, or conference before the season starts is unheard of in any sport as far as I'm aware. Based on the premise proposed, a team could be undefeated and ranked number 1 in the country and still not receive a first-round bye because teams were awarded one before the season even began. I couldn't agree more. I think it's completely preposterous, and I really hope that, and I can't believe that this would ever go through by the other teams, but I really hope that these conversations on the format go in a more serious direction and really keep the whole sport in mind and not just these few conferences. And that we get at the end of the day something more inclusive, allows the best teams to come in. Don't have so many predetermined spots, and allow teams to go and compete and earn their place into the playoff. I'd love even more opportunity for G5 if they can earn it, which I think would still be rare, but give them that shot. And obviously, as a BYU fan, having 2 automatic qualifying bids for the Big 12 would probably make it easier for BYU at some point to get into the playoff. But nonetheless, I think for the sport, I think we just, yes, conference champions, let them punch their ticket. But other than that, have it open to the best teams and allow them to get in. So let us know in the comments what you think about this 14-team playoff format and what kind of format you would like to see. Would you like to see it stay at 12, go to 16, a different version of the 14? Let us know in the comments. And again, please like this video and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Go Cougs!